What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we've got some Destiny 2 news. Some of it comes in the form of this week at Bungie being a Thursday, but also we've got a brand new hotfix for the game. And so today a series of different issues that we've been experiencing since the start of the season have been fixed. We'll touch on the patch changes, and then also in the TWAB Bungie talk about matchmaking in the Crucible. They give us an update on a future hotfix, reward updates, and new charity initiatives which we'll break down in the video. As always guys, I hope you enjoy this one and find it useful, but without further delay, let's jump into it. Initially, let's talk about Destiny 2 hotfix 6202. Got this update in the game today. There are a bunch of fixes, so initially, for activities and expedition, they fixed an issue where the treasure object could be duplicated, and this was contributing to inflation across the intergalactic economy. So a bit of a fix there for an exploit. And for duality, they fixed a problem where a single thread quest didn't complete if players completed duality on master difficulty. And then being the reprise raid, for Kingsfall, they fixed a problem where DPS for Golgoroth sometimes didn't end properly, and an issue where Kingsfall carries stat tracker mentioned seasonal carries instead of weekly carries. So that objective may have changed right there. And finally, they fixed a problem where the total badge count was incorrect. As we get into the gameplay and investment side of things though, there are a few changes to take note of, and for armor, they say they've reduced damage resistance tiers in PvP, which are used by Omnioculus and Whisper of Chains. And so tier 1 has gone from 10% to 2.5%, tier 2 from 15% to 5%, and tier 3 goes from 20 to 7.5%, and finally tier 4 is 25% to 10%. So those have been reduced quite a bit right there. Give us your thoughts down below. And next up we have weapons, and they say they fixed a problem where certain bows would reload themselves while stowed, and another issue where having Quicksilver Storm in grenade mode could cause excess recoil on other weapons, and other badness. And so hopefully that one has now been re-enabled. Plus they fixed an issue where the Season 18 seasonal machine gun and sidearm had 2 masterwork slots. That's an unfortunate one, but they also fixed a problem where most heavy grenade launchers were doing significantly more damage than intended, and so those have now been re-enabled. Getting on to abilities, Bungie fixed a problem with Combination Blow, where the melee ability was able to continually stagger boss combatants. There's another one where Combination Blow's melee damage scaler was also applying to Tempest Strike, and one where melee energy regeneration bonuses was also applying while Tempest Strike was equipped. And they say because the base cooldown reduction on Combination Blow is so significant and integral to the base melee's behavior, they've chosen to reduce those in order to have a better grasp on where Tempest Strike lies in terms of efficiency and uptime, which would have been difficult with a potential 15-second cooldown time. And so give us your thoughts about that, but they fixed a problem where the damage resistance provided by the flow state aspect and Arc Staff Super while dodging was significantly higher than intended in PvP, and the problem where the Striker and Stormcaller subclasses were not benefiting from resilience-based PvE damage resistance and incoming flinch reduction, and so that resilience bug has now been fixed. And finally, an issue where Tempest Strike could regain its energy when activated after sliding off a ledge. So a few things to take note of there. And finally, for power and progression, they fixed a problem where completing the Master Catch Crash weekly challenge didn't award gear. They also point out for the Eververse store that the Loyal Companion charity emote is available for purchase in the archive. They fixed missing settings labels on Stadia. And finally, in general, an issue that would sometimes show ornaments as owned, even though they were not, and a problem where some players were unable to claim prime rewards from Amanda Holiday, plus that very loud sound that can potentially play when a team wipes to Golgoroth's Drained of Light mechanic. So that's the patch today. And then in the TWAB, Bungie talk about matchmaking and the skill-based matchmaking changes that they've made going into this season. There's a bunch of data in there about how that's been working. But importantly, they say there are a few points of concern that they're addressing, and that includes the number of poor connections during matches and the number of players quitting matches early. And so that's going to be one of the key focuses for now, and otherwise they feel that it's been a positive launch. And they also say for now, we're taking a few steps, including extending the time that loose skill-based matchmaking will sit and wait for the best connection quality between group leaders, and hopefully this will increase the overall connection quality when matchmaking goes past 2 minutes. And then they say they have some new analytics coming in soon that'll give a better picture of the connection quality between all players within matches, not just the group leaders. And finally, they're going to be adding a quitter protection protection to control in a future patch, and they hope to discuss this more in a TWAB soon. Give us your thoughts on those changes down below. They also talk about photosensitivity, and they say in September 2021, we shared our initiative into making sure all players that want to enjoy Destiny 2 can, and this includes many areas of making games more accessible, including areas of game design that can negatively impact those with photosensitivity concerns. They say while they continue to work on that, they want to caution players that Destiny 2 may contain flashing patterns and images that produce adverse effects for a small percentage of people photosensitive. And they say to help guide players through a world of light, darkness, and blue space drinks, we came up with a handy resource of tips and tricks on how you can jump into the action without aggravating photosensitivity. So there's a link for that in the TWAB, which is also linked down below. And here they also highlight that next Thursday, September 8th, Hotfix 6203 is scheduled to be pushed out, and they follow with some known issues, including the overzealous Basilica Triumph for King's Fall being unable to be completed, and that stops players getting the seal and title. They also talk about Gambit bounties with misspellings, the crafted BXR 55 Battler, which doesn't receive a gold border when an enhanced perk is added, King's Fall carries not being counted properly in the stat tracker, and a bunch of other stuff, so I'll be sure to keep you posted about that, but bear in mind, another hotfix will drop next week. There's also a section in the TWAB about accessing Season of Plunder Season Passes, and they say incorrect wording is displayed on the Season 18 Season Pass for players who have not completed the introductory mission. It's telling players that have already purchased the Season Pass that they need to purchase to access the plundered Umbral energy. This is incorrect. In addition to owning the Season Pass, players must do the following, including completing the Salvage and Salvation mission in the Helm, speaking to Spider in the Elixni Quarter, completing the Ahoy and Away quest, and then visiting the Star Chart in Helm before acquiring the Sales of the Ship Stealer and Captain's Atlas quests. Following that, they can claim plundered Umbral energy in the Season Pass, and that should fix the issue with accessibility there. There's also a link in there if any players are missing the Twitch emblem for watching the showcase last week. And there are some details about the partner's reward page, the refresh button for those missing items, and additional help if you can't pick that up. So if you are after that emblem and you should be owed it, also check that link out in the TWAB. Otherwise in the TWAB, they also point out the new Twitch Prime bundle for Destiny 2 this month. And so if you have that, that'll include the Darcy Exotic Sniper, as well as the Cleans Up Good Exotic Weapon Ornament, the Machiniform Exotic Ship, the Plunder Projection, and the Magnetism exclusive seasonal emblem. So worth checking in on those if you have access to Twitch Prime. And as always, the details are in the TWAB linked in the description. Bungie are also kicking off a new charity initiative via the Bungie Foundation. And they're supporting Team Rubicon, who help communities prepare, respond, and recover from disasters and humanitarian crisis. And anyone who donates $50 or more by Friday, September 30th will receive the Seeds of Hope emblem. There's more information about making donations to that in the TWAB as well. But for today, guys, that's what we have to round up in the video. So as always, I hope you've enjoyed this one and found it useful. If you have, a rating below really does help us out on the channel. Plus, feel free to get subscribed and I'll keep you posted with more Destiny content. But otherwise, for now, I hope you guys have an awesome day.